All right, welcome back to season 3 of our show, and today we're cooking up some spare ribs indoors. We're going to show you how to get these seasoned up and cooked up. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, so we're cooking up some spare ribs indoors, and this is what we have. A nice big rack of spare ribs. Now, since you're cooking these indoors, the cook is going to be a lot different than out on the grill, but not too different. See all this fat here? Normally I would leave this on to burn off. I'm just going to get rid of it. Just get it right off to the side. Take my knife and just get all that fat out of there. This takes no time. It's all soft fat too, so you can just get right in there and get it out of there. The reason why you don't want to leave this on because your ribs are going to get real greasy, especially in the oven. They're going to release all that grease, and that's not going to be good because you'll be stuck with a set of greasy ribs indoors. Where on a grill, it'll kind of go down between the grates and it'll burn off in there. Now I'm looking at all this and I'm just feeling it out, and this is fat that I just do not want. It's all soft fat. It's good fat. You can use it in sausages. It's great for that. And all the stuff that we cut off, the meat portion of it today, we're going to use in a different recipe. We're going to do a cabbage with it. We're going to leave a link to that video in the description as well at the end, so you can see that cabbage being made. So I'm just peeling this back, and what I'll do when I start getting to the end like that, I'm going to get under this lip. And I'm going to cut all that lip off. Now this is bad fat, so you don't want that fat that's under the lip. I'm going to put that off to the side, and I'm just going to feel around. Now on the back of this, since I can't get it off, I'm just going to score it. Just like that, open it up. This way it's not tough on there. And then around the bone, I'm going to clean that up. Now you got that scored up. I'm going to take the back of our rib, turn it to the side. I'm going to feel in between. I'm just going to cut, 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 and just go all the way down the rib. Cut to the side as well too. So I'm going to turn that around so you can see that. Cut, cut. Let's get that a little bit better of a cut, and cut there. And now we're going to turn this back over and get that out of here. Now this piece right here I just took off, I'm going to save this, and that's going in my cabbage, so I'm going to get that off to the side. Before we get it turned over, we're just going to trim them up. So here's a top piece here. We're not going to use that piece. I'm just going to get that out of here and get it off. See that piece here? It's old meat. You could use this for rib tips if it was on the grill, but can't do anything with it in the oven. So just clean it up. And we're going to go to this side now. So we're just going to start to cut the fat off of there. Just like that. And all that fat off of there. And just save it. I did a sausage video, and sometimes my sausages are too lean, and I'll just put them in there. You can check out some of those sausage videos too, and see how sausages are being made and see where I use this at. Alright, so now we got that pretty cleaned up on the back there. It looks pretty good. We're going to flip this rib over. We're going to look for anything on the front. And we're just going to feel our way around. I got a little fatty spot here, so I'm just going to get some of that fat off of there. And just see if there's any more of that. I don't like that one here either. So I'm just going to get that out of there. And any stragglies around, we're just gonna cut those off too and save them. It's meat, see all that meat in there? So just save that. Like I said, I got a cabbage video coming up, all that's going in there, so you might want to take a look at that one. We'll leave that in the description, like I said. Okay, so now it's pretty clean. We're gonna feel around here. I'm gonna leave this fat on here because when I cut this part of the rib, I'm gonna cut this in half. We're going into a pressure cooker with this today, and I need this in half. So I'm gonna take half the rack of ribs. I'm gonna go from about here and go down, up to the rib, find the bone. I'm just gonna come back through, and that's it, right through. No chopping. Now what we'll do, these are going in the pressure cooker. I'm gonna get these nice and soft in the pressure cooker, and we're gonna cook them down. And what we'll do is I'll show you later on the rack, we're gonna tuck this part in right here and fold it in just like that. Now you got nice rib tips that are gonna be underneath here, which we'll show you after they're cooked. And this piece right here, we're gonna tuck underneath of here, and you'll have rib tips there too. So it'll just be cooked, and then we got nice rib tips. We're gonna save this piece, just tuck it right underneath. This way it cooks evenly. If you cook it out like that, this piece is gonna dry out, so just tuck it back, just like that. All right, we're gonna get situated, and we're gonna get these into the pressure cooker and seasoned up. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we got our ribs nice and cleaned up. Now this was that extra meat that came off the back of those ribs, minus that all that fat that we took off. So we're just gonna put these off to the side. We're gonna show you how to get these seasoned up. So in this tray, they're gonna sit. We're gonna take a lemon to start. Just cut that lemon in half. Doesn't matter if you get the seeds in there or not, just put some lemon on that. Gotta clean it up, open the pores to that pork. Even though it was rinsed and clean, I'm always going in with some more lemon. This lemon always makes everything a bit better here. And turn it over and get that lemon in there. As soon as you put the lemon on, you'll feel it. It goes from being slippery to just having some traction on it. Now we got that lemon on, we're gonna go with a little rub. This is a little homemade rub, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, no salt. I always feel the ribs have enough salt in them, so just get them seasoned. Nice liberal amount. Get a little seed out of there. And use any rub you want, make it yours. I'm just showing you the technique. Get up under that little lip. And now, into the pressure cooker we go with them. And put them in a way that you can grab them right out. So I'm gonna put it in there like this and just kind of tuck everything in. And lay them in there. This way I can get them out easy. And everything's gonna cook in there. Nice and tucked in. It's still gonna hang out a little bit, but for the most part, it's gonna be tucked in. So let's get that in there. All right, now that we got that, cut the bottom of a piece of garlic off, clove of garlic, and stick that in. Don't worry about peeling it. Just cut the bottoms off and get them in. Take an onion. Now I'm going to put the bottoms to the side here. We're not going to put those in. They're just going to make a mess as they fall apart. So we got a onion here, right half of the onion. Just going to go like this. and stick the entire onion in. Skins and all. Doesn't get any easier than this. Let's just go in with the onion. We got some oregano here. Fresh bay leaves. Black peppercorns. Let me just give my hands a wipe. We're gonna pressure cook this for 20 minutes. That's what you want. You don't want to go too far because you don't want these ribs to fall apart. And then we're gonna finish the rest of them in the oven. Let's add some water. This happens to be 4 cups. All right, 20 minutes in the cooker, and we'll meet you guys right back here. All right, 20 minutes in the pressure cooker. Let's show you what we got. Look at those. Beautiful. Now what we'll do is we'll get them out of that broth in there. I'm going to bring the tray over, and we're going to get them out of here. Don't look so pretty in there? Pretty crazy. Alright, let's just get our pan ready. And onto the cutting board. So this is number 1. Now I showed you this rib, how I folded it over, and look at that. So right after, we're going to get some rib tips out of here. So what we'll do now is put some pressure on it and bring it back on the cutting board, just like that. And then cooked even with the rest of them. We got some peppercorns on there, but it's all right, you can leave them on there. And what we'll do from here is we're going to put some more rub on there. Just like that. Best way to make these in the house. Now, if you use a pressure cooker, you don't boil all your ingredients down into the water, because you're only using just a few cups of that. So normally I don't season the back of these, but I'm going to turn them over and get the backs done. And we're going to leave them on the backs because that's how we're going to cook these, on their back. And then we're going to turn them over. This will be the first portion of the rib blasted by the heat. All right, so we're going to put this one off to the side. We're going to get this one. Show you how this one came out. Now you don't want to take this cooker down to the end till they fall apart. You can see they're holding together, and I got some good bite on here, and that's what you want. And again, I'm going to fold that in now out. Now it looks like you got a full spare rib, right? Look at that. Now you got all the pieces of that. So what we'll do with this one is put some rub on it. Just like that. There's no salt in here, so you can go nuts on it. I'm just going to turn them over. And do the backs. Just like that. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll put these off to the side just to cool down just a little bit. And no in-house rib is done without a little homemade barbecue sauce. So right here, we have just tomato paste. You know those small little cans that you buy? It's a tomato paste. It's made to thicken. So we're using tomato paste there. And we're going to take some of that broth that we have in here. We're going to put a little in. So here's our broth going in. And we're just going to make a sauce out of it. Now you don't want to make it too watery. It's because it's not going to be thick enough on the meat. So we're going to need to sweeten this. We're going in with some honey. A lot of it. And we're going in with some molasses. This is why you want to use what you have on hand. and work with it. Now, if you're going to use ketchup base, which this is tomato base, you'd have to use like a half a bottle of ketchup just to get to this point. So we're just going to give it a nice little stir. Now, because that broth is nice and hot, we're not going to heat this up on the stove. And we're just going to make it just like that. And then what we'll do is get our rub in there. A little bit of that rub. All right, and let's stir that in. And there you have it, a fast, quick, easy, simple barbecue sauce. All right, now you know how to do that. Let's get this off to the side. Let's get our ribs back over. We're going to take this sauce and over the top. I'm going to start to dress it. Now this is the first half that's going in. We're putting these under the broiler. They're done. So we're just going to crisp them up under the broiler. And you want a nice coating of that sauce on there. And taste your sauce, make it your way. I've been making this for a lot of years now, so I pretty much know what's in it. And by adding no salt to it, you'll never fail. All right, so let's get that on. Now the backs aren't that important. That's where all the bones are. But still, it's good to have some flavor back there, especially if you're indoors and there's no smoke flavor to this, so you want to put as maximum flavor as you want, or as you can on here. All right, preheated broiler on high, and into the broiler we go with these guys, just to do the backs, and then we'll flip them over and do the fronts. Stick around, don't go anywhere. Now broil on high. So we're going to put this one in here. I'm going to get this one right on the side of it, just like that. Here we go. We'll see you right back here. 2 seconds. Don't go anywhere. All right. That's what you're looking for right there. Get them nice and charred up in there. I'm going to pull these out. They're starting to char. And I'm going to flip this one over while that one's still going. I'm going to flip it over just like that. And we're going to sauce up this one. Get it nice and sauced up. That's what you want right there. If you're going to have sauce, you might as well have it. All right. Let's get this one back under. And we're going to start to sauce up this one. And this big boy flipped over. Just going to pick it up like this. Alright, so we're going to get the less sauce onto this one. That looks dynamite. Homemade sauce, indoor ribs. This whole thing from start to finish it took us about 40 minutes for indoor ribs. And this was a big rack of ribs too. about 4.5 pounds. All right, back into that broiler she goes. Now that one's going to be closer. That one won't come out first. We'll let them go, and we can add more sauce if we want. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right. She's toasting up nice. That's how you want that. Don't think you're burning it, because that's just bringing in flavor, especially indoors. So let it go just like that. I'm gonna move this one out so you can see what's going on here. That's what you want. That nice char to give it that nice authentic barbecue taste for indoors. This is about as best as you guys are gonna get. This recipe right here. You can make ribs anytime you want, no matter the weather or anything. These are just dynamite ribs to have. Sometimes I get tired of the smoke myself, the smoke flavor, and I'm indoors. I'm in the house. So we're gonna pull these in just a couple of minutes, and then we're gonna meet you onto the chopping block. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, here we are, season 3's chopping block. Ribs done inside. Let's show you what we got. Look at those. Now, I didn't cover them just because if I covered them, they're gonna get ruined, that nice sauce on top. Now for an oven rib, I mean, come on, look at that. You can't go wrong with that. We're talking 40 minutes here. Let's get into them. So I think I'm gonna go into the larger half first. Just gotta pick the whole rack up. Now they're tender and they're falling apart. So what I'll do is I'm just gonna cut the rib tip off first. That's this end right here, the spare. Just to make it easier, but look how tender that is. Come on, nice and tender. I'm gonna put this back on the side, let it cool down so we can rib tip it. And it's really hot right now. And we're gonna show you how to cut some of these ribs. Right through, look at that. Very tender. Right through, one hand. And we'll get the last one here. Let me just show you this. This is unbelievable. If you guys didn't see this firsthand, I mean, come on. It's indoors. This is probably one of the first ribs I ever learned how to make indoors. That's how old this rib is, over 30 years old. 30-year-old rib, right? Let's give that a bit master taste. Excellent. So juicy. And when you see how these things cut, they cut like butter. All right, let's show you these things plated out. So right here we got our plate. Now over here we made some cabbage. It's fried cabbage with andouille sausage and pork. We're going to leave a link in that description so you can see this being made. You're going to want to watch this one because the flavors in this one are off the charts. Got peppers, onions, green onion. And we're just going to top that off with a little pepper. Just like that. Let's get this back onto the plate. And let's get some ribs on there. So I think I'm gonna just put this nice big rib right on the side of there. put this big rib right on side of there as well. Let me just clean up the plate. I tell you, you can put these up against anybody's barbecue ribs. I mean, even my own, cooking them outside. This is a great runner-up. Let me just go turn that around so you guys can see that. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. This is the best angle right here. Right there. All right, we're gonna get situated. I'm gonna meet you right back here. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, and there it is. Spare ribs done in 40 minutes indoors with some beautiful rib tips. We didn't forget about you guys still out there in the cold, so I hope you guys make this one. We got a beautiful cabbage on the side, fried cabbage with some andouille sausage in there. We're gonna leave a link in the description to that as well too, so you can see that being made. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like, hit that bell, this way you get all those notifications first. Thanks, we enjoyed having you. And with no further ado, gotta get that little pet master taste there.